The clock is ticking. Iran could strike Israel in the next 48 hours. Since last night, the threat level has gone up. Reports say Tehran has zeroed in on its targets.
We are devoted to the defense of Israel. We will support Israel. We will help defend Israel, and Iran will not succeed. Thank you very much.
When you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, so there is a danger coming to Jerusalem. It happened in the past, it will happen again in the future. Jerusalem will be surrounded. Jerusalem will be divided. It's mentioned very clearly in the book of Zechariah that Jerusalem will be divided into two. Whether we like it or we don't like it, it's going to come to pass. Which means this nation of Israel will be divided into two. And the capital city will be divided into two. So, and the Israeli government are prepared for that. You know, there is an invisible boundary in Israel now called the Green Line. So the Green Line separates the Jewish side from the future probable Palestinian state. There's a line called the Green Line. So the government themselves are foreseeing that in the not too distant future, they may be forced to cede the land. And even Jerusalem, East Jerusalem, West Jerusalem, divided as it was before in the past.
Before Russia invaded Ukraine some years ago, it was the United States of America that alerted the world that Russia meant war, that they want to invade Ukraine. A lot of people did not believe it, but it happened at the end. That is the US intelligence. And today, the United States of America has alerted Israel that Iran are going to invade their country. They are going to carry out offensive attack against Israel. But how would they attack Israel? Where would they follow? And will US stand by Israel? Was this war predicted that it is going to come now? These are the journey that we are going to go through in this video.
It is preparing for a direct attack on Israel. Iran's supreme leader has been presented with strike options. If he chooses to attack Israel directly, parts of North and South Israel could be potential targets. It's a small country as it is. Now, hectic diplomacy is underway to avoid what is increasingly becoming inevitable: a wider war in West Asia. America is trying to pull Iran back from the brink. The US Secretary of State has been making calls, asking the likes of China, Turkey and Saudi Arabia to stop Iran. But will they be able to convince Tehran? And remember, this escalation started with Israel. They're the ones who carried out an airstrike in Syria. They bombed an Iranian consulate in Damascus. Top Iranian military officials died in that strike. Iran says Israel's strike was a direct attack on them. So now they want to pay back in kind. How would they do it? Most likely using medium-range missiles. That's one of the probable scenarios. They're already issuing threats online. Videos have appeared showing simulated attacks on Israel. They feature high-value targets like Israel's Haifa airport and a nuclear facility in Dimona. Israel is said to have a nuclear reactor there in Dimona. So the plans are very much in place. Iranian officials are now waiting for a go-ahead from Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader of the country. Reports say he wants to think this through, carefully consider all available options, the political risks of an attack and the potential backlash from Israel, about which Netanyahu is leaving no doubts. He says if Israel is attacked, he will respond.
We established a simple principle. Whoever hurts us, we hurt him. We are preparing to meet the security needs of the state of Israel, both in defense and in attack.
Yesterday, Israel conducted an operation in Lebanon. Israeli jets were dispatched. They struck at least 5 targets. Israel says they took out Hezbollah infrastructure. In fact, since the beginning of the Gaza war, Israel has been fighting the Hezbollah on its northern border. This is an Iranian proxy group. So far, this fighting has led to the deaths of over 300 people in Lebanon and 18 people in Israel. The security situation is rapidly deteriorating. America and its Western allies do not have much time. They have a narrow window to convince Iran and stop a major attack which could consume the entire region. But then again, America's options are also limited. It cannot communicate with Tehran directly. American law bans U.S. diplomats from engaging with Iran, so they have to go through intermediaries, like the Europeans. In this case, Germany has delivered messages to Tehran.
Nobody should add fuel to the fire now. No one can have any interest in a conflagration with completely unforeseeable consequences. All the players in the region are called upon to act responsibly and exercise restraint. With this in mind, I also spoke to my Iranian counterpart today.
West Asian powers are also calling Tehran. In the last 48 hours, Saudi Arabia, Iran, the UAE and Qatar have all dialed Tehran. They've spoken to Iran's foreign minister. It is not clear what they discussed or how effective these efforts have been. So far, there's been no change in Iran's posture. And the US is preparing for the worst-case scenario, that is an Iranian strike. Washington has sent a message to all American officials in Israel and their families. They've been asked to stay in Tel Aviv, Greater Jerusalem, or Beersheba areas. European countries have issued travel advisories for Iran. Yesterday, Lufthansa cancelled flights to Tehran, and this ban has now been extended till tomorrow. The situation remains precarious. The region, anyway, was a powder keg, and the Gaza war has lit the fuse. So tensions between regional rivals are exploding. 6 months ago, when Israeli troops launched their offensive, it put the entire region on the edge. A swift operation could have reduced tensions, but Israel has shown no willingness to end this war. There have been a series of diplomatic initiatives, but they've all failed to deliver a breakthrough. So even if Iran is persuaded to stand down this time, the risk of a wider war in West Asia still very much remains, and it will remain until the war in Gaza ends. Needless to say, an escalation would hurt the whole world. So cooler heads must prevail.
Good day, everyone. Today is the 13th day of April 2024. Israel sends out an emergency message to the people of the world. I hope this finds you well. I am reaching out with a heavy heart and a plea for vigilance. We are living through critical times as Iran threatens to strike our beloved Israel. They threaten to retaliate after the alleged Israeli strike near the Iranian embassy that killed high-ranking Iranian military officials, who, according to foreign reports, were the mastermind behind the October 7 attack. Among them was the IRGC commander in Syria, Mohammed Reza Zahedi. Israel is on its highest alert ever, and the Israel Air Force is ready for any possible attack. And we do need your prayers. From the whispers of intelligence, it is clear Iran is not just random servers. They are actually moving drones and cruise missiles into position. They are setting the stage for something big. The United States, however, is on the edge too, with President Biden and his team bracing for potential attacks. The United States is moving its forces to the Middle East, including the USS Dwight Eisenhower aircraft carrier, and also vowed to help intercept any strike on Israel. As intelligence indicates that the Iranians will try to target multiple targets inside Israel with rockets. Even more chilling, Iran is flaunting its nuclear ambition. They are talking about how easy it will be to ramp up to nuclear capabilities and build an atomic bomb. But we know better. We know this is not just about power, it is about intimidation. Oh, here is what they are underestimated. Israel resolve. We have seen threats come and go, but our spirit remains unbreakable. We are prepared, as always, to defend our land and our people with everything we have got. And here is something to hold on. A verse that I came across that feels right for right now. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Psalm 27 verse 1. The Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, vowed to retaliate decisively if Iran carried out this attack.